Hello, my name is Alex, Director of Goldrick Executive. Welcome to today's 8th episode of the Executive Perspective series, where we'll be discussing leadership development through experiential learning. With us today is Janine de Muinck, Founder and Director of Interact WA. Janine is a professional corporate actor, communications trainer, and experiential learning expert that helps leaders have better interactions with people. So Janine, tell us a bit more about your background, about you, and what is that you do and why?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So I am trained as a drama teacher and somehow ended up in the corporate world. And as I was working with leaders and with managers, I realized how much my theater training actually helped me in having better conversations. And I've come to learn and understand that experiential learning is a very powerful tool, a very powerful method to learn, about how to have better conversations with people. And I also came to learn that it is one of the most misused, misunderstood methods. So if you ask me why, why do we exist? Why does Interact exist? It is to make sure that leaders get a great experience when they are learning through doing, when they are participating in a role play, for example, or when they're participating in an experiential learning activity, that they get the best possible result for that and therefore have better interactions with others. Yeah.
And look, certainly in the current environment, there's such rapid change in our world and our working environment. There is a real need for progressive, engaged leadership that knows how to help people evolve, adapt, and perform, and be the best they can be. And I suppose those having better interactions and being able to engage and communicate is such a critical component of leadership.
Absolutely critical. Yeah. Yes, and I like to think the one consistent through everything, through change, through ambiguity, through all the things that are happening in our world, being able to communicate effectively is absolutely critical. Yeah.
And leadership in the current context, with remote teams and we have leaders leading teams of people that they've never actually met in person.
Yeah.
Through to new generations coming through that expect different ways of engaging from the leader to there's a whole range of things there. So I guess a leader being able to develop a more versatile style in terms of how to communicate, engage with different audiences, or be able to deal with different types of scenarios or challenging situations.
Yeah.
It's critical, and as you said, that communication, that ongoing, effective, clear communication has been, a skill, a need that won't change.
No, it won't change. And the great news is, it is a skill you can learn. It is a skill you can develop.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, it's not easy. It's not something, I've done the workshop, I tick the box, I'm great at giving feedback now, because it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I run feedback workshops for over 15 years, and 2 weeks ago I received feedback and I did everything wrong. I didn't ask questions, I didn't thank the person for the feedback. I still get it wrong because that's how it works. But I think the power lies in learning how to self-reflect and learning how to correct and learning how to make decisions as to, that's what I did. Is that what I want? No. Yeah. Then I have a choice as to how to move forward from that. And I think we with Interact create that little link between this is the theory, and this is you self-reflecting. Now, before you go out there and you want to do it differently, let's practice. Yeah. Let's practice.
That's a very good point. So let's talk a bit more about the method and the approach. So, I'd like to know a bit more around, the types of situations or scenarios that you help customers through and how you bring them through that program.
Yeah. So, a lot of the work we do is based on the work of David Allen Kolb. who has done lots and lots of research as to what makes people effectively learn.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, a very crucial part in that is the element of practice. So like I said, we love to work with professional role players for that. So we like to bring actors in to allow people to road test those challenging conversations in a very safe to fail, non-judgmental environment. Yeah. Because often the step to the reality is too big. I like to use the metaphor of the airplane pilot who you don't learn how to fly a plane by saying, well, here's a book about flying a plane, and here is somebody who will lecture you for the next 8 hours as to how to fly a plane, and here's another PowerPoint you can watch at home, and a nice video about how to fly a plane. Good luck. That person will never step in the plane and fly it successfully, nor will you as a passenger probably want to sit in that plane. No, you wouldn't. So I guess what we do is provide the flight simulator in that, and that's a huge critical element to our programs, is that we provide the flight simulator where people can, try out those new communication skills, those new interpersonal skills, and get an instant feedback loop, create an instant feedback loop as to this works, this doesn't work. Let's try this again. Did you realize you're doing this? Do you know you're doing, and that feedback loop accelerates learning tremendously. So that's one element. Yeah.
Certainly from my side as well, I have in the past and see a value in using role plays for executive selections, for example. There has been on occasions where the appointee will be dealing with very complicated matters, dealing with people, dealing with change or transformation, or even external parties that do require, I suppose, a level of skill and capability to deal with those situations. And have seen it as an effective way of actually seeing how candidates would handle themselves in those types of scenarios. So, certainly see the benefit of role plays in executive selections.
Absolutely. And there's still a heavy reliance on psychometric testing, to see if the candidate is actually able to walk the walk and not just talk the talk, but how about just bringing it to life for real? A situation where somebody actually has to deal with a complaint, or has to have a challenging conversation, or has to give somebody feedback.
It's so important that team members and leaders with their teams, whoever it may be, build that degree of trust and openness and authenticity, and delivering candid, constructive feedback is a difficult thing.
It sure is.
I do observe and see at times that it's not really done in a very open, constructive way. But no, that's super.
And then there's obviously still some old management theories around, like the feedback sandwich, where they say, just say something nice and then slip in the criticism and then say something nice again, that don't work. They're not honest, they're not open, they're not transparent.
It's a different name for that sandwich.
I know, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it.
No, we won't say it. I think people watching know what we're talking about.
But I think we both know what it is.
I've been through that sandwich many times myself. So.
Well, there you go. So then you didn't have success experience with it, and therefore you decide somewhere along the way, this feedback thing, that's just too hard, and we like to challenge that and say, well, yes, it's hard, but there is a way to do it, and there is a way to master that skill. Yeah.